Today we're going to talk about playing over a minor 7 flat 5 chord. It's a beautiful chord, not often used. Many different options to play over that chord, not only Locrian. Make sure that you download the free pack that goes with this series of lessons on playing over single chords. It's available below. Enter a valid email address. I'll be sending you all the backing tracks, the charts to make the most of this lesson. Grab your guitar. We're going to get started. Hi, my name is David Wallerman. Welcome to this channel, which is all about helping guitar players around the world find their voice on their instrument to tell their unique personal musical story. We are in a series of lessons that cover playing over single chords. Why? Because if you can play over a single chord, it's much easier later on to play over chord progressions. We've already explored options to play over minor 7 chords, major 7 chords, dominant 7 chords. Today is a little more obscure. We're talking about the minor 7 flat 5 chord. And for this particular lesson, we're going to play over this backing track that you're hearing right now. The backing track is based on that minor 7 flat 5, which means that if I play the arpeggio that fits that backing track, the minor 7 flat 5 arpeggio in A, it's going to fit perfectly. But it's a little boring, right? Why? Because I'm not adding anything new to the conversation that is going on. This is a conversation that you're having with, in this case, the backing track. Sometimes you have a conversation with other musicians or even by yourself, but music is really about having that conversation, telling that story. So we need to match what is going on in the conversation, the topic of the conversation. And that's really important. That's what we've been talking about in the previous videos of this series. In this case, the topic of the conversation is given to you by what you're playing over. What we're hearing now is made of several instruments. We've got the drums to carry the beat. That gives you part of the topic, this kind of mood. So you need to respect that. You need to play over that. But also the pitches. We've got a bass, we've got a keyboard, we've got a guitar. And if we were to take all these instruments together and extract from everything that is being played notes, pitches, we can reorganize these notes in alphabetical order, starting from the 1. And the 1 is not always A. A is the first letter of the alphabet, yes, as you know. But here we are playing in a key. The key is going to give you the first letter of the alphabet. That alphabet is going to start with that letter. And if we listen to this, the bass usually is going to give us that clue as to what the 1 is. The 1 attracts all the other notes. That's the bass. 1, 1, 1, 1. Everything seems to attract to that pitch. And that pitch, you could fish around if you don't know what it is. That's an A. So we're in the key of A. A something. And that's where you need to extract all the notes that are happening in this backing track to know what that something is. Now, I'm going to help you out doing that. This backing track is made of several notes, including the A minor 7 flat 5. So what is that A minor 7 flat 5 chord? Also known as the half diminished chord. It's a chord made of 4 notes. It's a chord made of a root. That's the 1. That's A. We determined that. A minor third. Now there's also major thirds, but in this case we got a minor third. If I were to play a different kind of third that is not part of this progression, I would clash. If I play a major third over this, that's where you sound out. The minor third is heard there. You hear in the bass. Ba 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 bum 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 bum. There it is. Bum, 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 bum. But it's a major third. Bum, 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 bum. But it's a minor. Bum, bum. Okay, so we got a 1, A, minor third, which means that we are in a minor world. There are a lot of minor scales, a lot of items in that minor box, a lot of minor chords possible, a lot of minor scales possible, minor keys, minor modes. As long as you have the minor third, we're part of the minor world family. So we're dealing with a minor thing here. We also have a flat 5, and that's, you hear it in minor 7, flat 5. The 5th is diminished, is flat, and a minor 7th. So 4 different notes, here they are. That's the 1, the minor 3rd, the flat 5, and the minor 7th. And you hear that. If I just play that and you remember the backing track, that sounds very familiar. More familiar than this. Right? Because I'm matching the elements here. If I play that arpeggio. Okay, very important. Now, we need to pay attention to everything going on, and that's been a recurring thought through this series. Not only go with the obvious chord that it's based on, because other instruments might, play around it a little bit and introduce the new auditive things that you hear, clues as to what scales you can play. Now, before we do that, I want to stress the importance that in music, you are free to play whatever you want. If you like the sound of a clashing major third over a minor third here, if that sound, that feel, really expresses the thing you want to express, go for it. Rules can be broken. But what I mean by rule here is something where we are matching elements given to us by the backing track, which results in a conversational piece, in a musical piece that is accepted, quote unquote, accepted by most people. Most people are going to find that comforting when you're matching those elements, but you don't have to. But we're going to do that for now. So let's listen to the other maybe hidden parts, hidden little licks within this chord progression or chord vamp. There's only one chord. Bop, bop, bop. Heard that? Here it is. Bop, bop, bop. What is that? Da, da, dum. Bop, bop, bop. Fish around. Here it is. Bop, bop, bop. You heard that, right? So that's a minor third, 4th, diminished 5th. The 4th. Now it's not heard all the time. That's why you need to pay attention to the full thing. Don't start playing right away. Don't lock down a scale right away without hearing the rest of the track, because you might have clues and you might start, okay, well, minor 7, flat 5, I'm gonna play something with a sharp 4. There's no sharp 4. I can do that. But later on, and the thing you're playing over, you're introduced to that new element, the perfect 4th, and oh man, that doesn't work anymore. You've got to start playing gently. What I mean by that is get into the conversation almost timidly, just very safely. Don't start right away with a 7-note scale, because you might not know all the elements. But now we do. We've got 5 things to respect here. We've got the 1, which is A, the minor third, which we heard in the bass, the perfect 4th, that is that little lick, ba-bum, ba, 3, 4, 5, the minor third, the diminished 5th, and the minor 7th. So if I organize these in alphabetical order, starting for numeral number, from the 1 we have 1, minor third, 4th, diminished 5th, and minor 7th. Okay, so that's 5 notes. In Western music, we can typically find 7 notes that are going to match any musical elements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are different types of these notes. You can have, like we said here, we can have minor thirds and major thirds. It's still 3, but minor 3 and major 3. So the missing notes here, we've got 1, 3, 4, 5, 7. We're missing a 2 and a 6. You know the drill. If you've watched the other lessons in this series, we can pick the one we want. Some are commonly used, and in this case, typically players would use a Locrian mode, a Locrian scale, a Locrian alphabet, like I like to say. Why? Because these notes respect the elements of a minor 7 flat 5, and typically we're playing that. So what is the blueprint, the formula of the Locrian mode? It's as follows. We have a 1, flat 2, minor third, that's part of the chord, 4th, It's actually part of the chord vamp we're playing here. Diminished fifth, minor sixth, and minor seventh. That scale, the Locrian mode, is going to fit perfectly over this. All right, before we do this, I want to thank today's sponsor, Bandzoogle. I need to tell you about it. I've been using Bandzoogle for a few years now for my website, davidwallman.com. Bandzoogle is an all-in-one platform that allows musicians to make a living these days. It comes with everything. You can sell your merch, sell your CDs, sell your downloads. You keep all of the income from those sales. It comes with awesome-looking themes, blogs. It integrates with all the tools that you need today, SoundCloud, Twitter. It's really simple to use, and on top of that, you get unlimited live support by the members of Bandzoogle. Check it out. Try 30 days for free, and if you decide to continue, enter promo code Walleman, 2 L's, 2 N's, for 15% off your first year. Bandzoogle.com. You can check out my website, davidwallman.com. That's what allows it to run. Anyways, let's get back into this lesson. I'm going to play that here for you. No problem there. And within that blueprint, that 7-note alphabet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we find a hidden minor 7 flat 5. Now we saw that we need to have a perfect fourth. We need to add that perfect fourth to the minor 7 flat 5 because it's given to us in that little lick. Bop, 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 3, 4, 5. Now, we could, if we wanted to, maybe use the major second. Why? Because there's no place in this backing track where we're hearing a second. If it's available, if it's up in the air, you can grab it. You can decide, I don't want a minor second. I want a major second. That works. It sounds different, right? But I could have a scale with a 1, minor second, minor third, fourth, I need to respect that, flat 5, flat 6, why not? And minor 7. If you like that sound, you can use it because it respects those elements. Now, if a sound sounds a little off for you at first, like if I play that major second, that's a little off, I want to hear this. Don't dismiss the major second without giving it a chance. Explore some ideas using that. The other thing that happens is that we are kind of conditioned to a certain sound. We're conditioned in this case to want to play this Locrian mode because we've heard it so much that we're used to that. But if you play that new scale that we used, 1, 2, minor 3, 4, flat 5, minor 6, minor 7, for a while you're getting used to that one now. Starting to sound good, right? So at first you might be fishing around a little bit, but now that you're used to that major second, going back to the minor second, it might sound a little weird. I don't know, maybe if you play this major second enough, the minor second might be the obscure one. It's all about context, and that said, it's really important when you're playing over a vamp like this that goes on for a while to establish the mood. Don't skip from major second to minor second too fast in your improv. Take time to develop things because what might sound a little off to the listener first, eventually he might really enjoy it and actually crave that note, that second, you introduce it first and then they'll play it for a while. And then play it. Now it's like, oh yes, I heard that before. I really like that sound. Don't overdo it. Developing is so important. That's why I always refer to scales and modes as alphabets, because alphabet is something practical and tangible that you can relate to. Use it every day. From an alphabet, you make words. From words, you make phrases, sentences. From sentences, you say stories. And that's what this is all about. I prepared for you this free pack that I mentioned before. The pack is packed with all the backing tracks we are using in this series of lessons. The backing tracks are made of one chord, and along with these backing tracks, I'm including some charts with different scale options that work over these different backing tracks. Watch all the lessons in this series. I'll be adding some more as we continue to dive into more obscure chords. And these lessons are independent from each other, so you can start wherever you want. There's little pieces of improvisation tips in all of these different lessons. And if this was your first visit, thank you for stopping by. You should consider subscribing if you like this one, because every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, a new video comes out helping guitar players around the world find their voice on the instrument. This is your pencil. You have a story to say. You are the author. Master the pencil to tell your own musical story. Thank you so much for watching this. Practice well. I'll see you next time.